Hello, 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 hello. We're going to move Buddha over here and do a little cleansing just to start. Welcome, welcome. I assume sound is good and everything is good. If I can get a thumbs up. Some sage. Clear, 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 clear. Clear the noggin. Clear the decks. Ha! Clear the decks. That's a nice way to start the energy, is have the decks all cleared, right? I like that play on words. So welcome everyone, and we'll let a few more people materialize. If people can let me know if there is sound good? Sound good? Hi Cindy, I know that's you. Great. Cindy gives us the thumbs up. So I'm going to actually grab quickly. I had laid out the decks, but when I was upstairs brushing my teeth, getting ready for this, Spirit told me to grab 2 more decks. So I'm going to grab 2 more decks. There we go. So yes, my deck collection is growing. Which is nice. We all collect something, and well, I'm a little bit of a soft spot for decks. We get different messages that way. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. This one's going to slide right in here, and this one's going to slide right in underneath it. There we go. Okay, so how is everyone doing? I hope everybody is doing okay. The energy has been different for me in the last week or so, maybe even 2 weeks. It's kind of been very voidy energy. I have done videos in the past on the void. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's when nothing major is happening, which is kind of a good thing, because you know, when you're in Dark Night of the Soul, major things are happening, but it's dark, it's tower moments, it's shifts, it's oh my god, it's what's happening. And then the void is more like being a little bit in the twilight zone, and what's happening now? Who am I now? What's going on now? Nothing's happening. That can be a difficult energy to be in for a lot of people, especially if you are used to being in an energy of go, 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 work, 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 do, masculine energy. And so the void asks us to be in our feminine energy and asks us to relax and chill out. It's like a holiday a little bit, but it may not feel like a holiday. It doesn't, not everyone enjoys the void. I've learned to enjoy the void. It's taken me a good bit of time to learn to just be. Starting to calm down a little bit now. Yes, good, Yvonne, good. And then we go, our first card up, coming from the Starseed Oracle deck, which is where we're going to jump into today. And we are in Loosen Your Grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, letting God in. So we can see here this card, we've got falling down. We're just falling, relaxing, accepting that there's going to be something that catches us at the bottom, and that there's going to be such a major shift that takes place that we're not going to actually even know ourselves when we hit the bottom. So I know in talking to a lot of you out there that we are being challenged. We have been being challenged for a long period of time. The last Oracle read that I read was talking about how now more than ever you have to let go of all of those things, those toxic behaviors, those toxic ideas, those addictions, those patterns that aren't working for you, that time's up. Boom! So time's up, the alarm went off, and now we're doing that. We're quitting the alcohol, we're quitting the sugar, we're quitting the toxic behaviors, the toxic thinking, and we're letting it go. And it doesn't feel great when you're in a stage of letting things go. I believe very strongly, my background is in addictions counseling. Don't know if you know that, but I have mentioned it in other videos. That's what I'm actually educated in, as is addictions counseling. And one of the fundamental truths that I learned in that is that it takes 28 days 28 days to reset the brain synopsis, to create a new neural pathway for ourselves and establish a sense of new, establish a sense of being something new. So if you are a drinker and then you go, that's why alcohol programs are 28 days in length. But it applies for anything. It doesn't matter whether you're giving up drink or giving up drugs or giving up a job or giving up a relationship or giving up on negative thought patterns and I'm worthless and I don't deserve this, and reprogramming something new or reparenting a new, integrating a new old wound that has surfaced. And so allow yourself time is the message to this. The drop is not going to be sudden and quick. It's going to be slow moving down into something new, into something completely and utterly different. And so this is cultivating faith. That once you get there, it's going to look different. Once you get there, there is going to be a different attitude, a different feeling, a different, and it's going to take some integration time. That's why it takes 28 days. You make a decision, that happens in an instant. But what happens after that decision happens is you go through detox. And I don't care what you're detoxing from, even if you're detoxing from caffeine, and you've decided that, I've been go, and I need to let go of caffeine now. And you go through a period of detox. It doesn't matter what you give up. If you give up something, there is a detoxification process that is required. Even people, the detoxification from people, especially toxic, enmeshed, or difficult, narcissistic type of relationships, it takes time to detox from that, to pull yourself away from that and steady yourself again. So there is a process of detoxification, and then there's a process of restabilization and integration of, well, okay, now that I'm not a drinker, who am I as a non-drinker? Who am I as a non-smoker? Who am I as a single person? Who am I as a newly employed in a different position person? Anything like that. So cultivating the practice of faith and allowing ourselves to just have time. It's going to require time. And we are going through a continual process of letting go and releasing and changing and altering. And so, don't try to overload your system. I had a client recently ask me, I need to lose weight. I need to quit drinking. I need to give up this relationship. And I'm like, wait a second, maybe just do one thing at a time. Just give yourself 28 days to focus on the alcohol and then 28 days to focus on the next thing. If you try to do all things at once, you're setting yourself up for a real difficult process. Allow yourself 28 days before you're going to move into the next thing that you want to let go of. And understand, Spirit's going to keep squeezing and keep squeezing and keep squeezing and saying, okay, now it's time to let go of this. Now it's time to let go of that. And one of the things that we might be looking to let go of is toxic environments, the environment that we're in. So you can see here, that's a pretty toxicity laden card, looks quite acidic. This coral reef sea queen from the Sacred Sea Oracle deck. And it's talking about environmental awareness. So I love that woman, Marie Kondo. Maybe you know her. And she's all about going into your environment and picking up each thing and saying, does this feel good to me? Does this feel good to me? Does this feel good to me? So we're spring cleaning time. Woohoo! So let's get into our environment and take a really long, hard look around about the life situation that we're living in. Because our environment can be supportive or it can be toxic. So the question is, what is there too much clutter going on over here that needs to be purged out? Are the people that I'm living with in this situation, is there some toxicity that we can maybe go to counseling, or maybe we can work on, or maybe we can let go of? Maybe we can move. Maybe the house that you're living in no longer resonates from you, and you're in a rental unit and you want to find a different rental unit that's in a different environment, closer to a park, closer to water. So taking an audit right now of where we are in our external, our 3D world is paramount right now, and reevaluating and auditing, taking a self-audit so that we can know what are the things that we need to let go of. Is it a bunch of stuff that we've got stored in totes down in the basement that we haven't opened in 10 years, and why are we even holding on to these things? Go through, do a room by room purge in your exterior. We've been doing a lot of work on the interior type stuff, but your exterior is as equally important, because as within, so without, and equally so, as without, so within. So if your external environment is chaos, cluttered, confusion, what do you think your mental mind is going to be? It's going to be all of those things as well. And so we want to ground, look, this red energy here, we want to ground ourselves into peace, into calm, into relaxation, all of these types of energy. We don't want to be feeling like overwhelmed by the messes and the clutters and the, I've got a drawer this high with bills that I don't need anymore. Go in, clear out, get rid of. Now is a perfect time to bring about the fresh energy, because when you clear your outer realm, it allows for that energy to flow in. So do your clearing, and then get yourself some sage and smudge the room and say, bye to all this stuff that doesn't work for me anymore. I don't need it. So yes, a lot of work on the 3D realm is good. And, keeping in mind with the A.B.L.E program, you don't need to do all of these things in one weekend. Don't put over pressure on yourself. If you find like A.B.L.E, achieve one thing a day. So every day, take a little look of something that you can clean, purge, release, let go. Maybe it's just a drawer, and it's a very messy drawer. Maybe it's your whole closet. Maybe it's your living room. Move the furniture around. Get in underneath and sweep up, and see what's lurking in all those places that could be causing you some not so good vibes. Clear it out. Feng Shui. Little Feng Shui never went wrong. I don't do a lot of Feng Shui. Here we go. Hopping in. Aha, ha, ha. That's funny. I knew this card was going to come up. I knew it. I was outside doing my grounding. I like to lie in the grass in my back garden and just lie there in this energy of the void, because it's feminine energy. It's connecting to Mother Earth. And as I was lying there, I was questioning myself on, just me lying here has value and has worth. And the card that came up is SelfWorth. And we've had this card before, and it's from our Dragon Wisdom deck. So my question to you is, what gives you value? What do you equate your value? Is your value interconnected with what you do? Is your value connected to who you are? Those are two totally different energies. So if your value, your sense of self-worth is associated to labels of, well, I'm a good wife, I'm a good mother, I'm a good employee, I'm a good something outside of yourself that involves doing, then that's not value that is being cultivated from a place of source, a sense of your own solar plexus energy, of just being able to lie still and do nothing and still feel valued and still feel that you have value, that you have worth, that just lying there and breathing is worthy. You are worthy. And I want you to cultivate that energy as much as possible so that you can reconnect with the truth that your nature, your actual nature, your existence, just the fact that you were born gives you value, gives you worth. And if you're still caught up in the, well, no, my worth is dependent upon how many likes I receive. My worth is dependent upon how much money I have in my bank account. My worth is dependent upon how my boss evaluates me. Some sort of an evaluation or some sort of numeric structure from outside of yourself, then that's a big, huge flag that you need to go lie on the ground somewhere in the park or in your backyard at a beach and just lie there. For a period of time until you can connect with your value of just breathing. Just breathing. Breathing in and releasing and letting go. And just practicing existing. Just existing is a challenge. And it's a challenge. Lots of the things that we're being pushed to do on this ascension path is not easy work. It may sound easy, like, oh, well, I'm just going to feel more valuable about myself today. No, these are, learning to become patient, learning to become self-care and self-loving, learning to become compassionate, learning to become self-forgiving, learning to become a good, positive ear in your, like, silence the inner critic, reprogramming our beliefs about self. And when it comes to worth, we're constantly being inundated from everything around us by, your credit score and your friends and how many people like you on Instagram and how many people watch your videos, numerics and algorithms and all of these stuff that are evaluations. And we need to let go of that and disconnect from that and just feel good about existing. And the more we cultivate that energy, the more we're going to get into a state of healthier balance within self, that we're not looking for external verifications, and we're not trying to manipulate the world around us by kind of taking that energy and saying, well, I'm gonna force it, I'm gonna force this, I'm gonna force that, which is like a toxic masculine energy. So coming back into that feminine energy, lots of feminine energy coming in. We've got two females dropping. We've got the Sea Queen, which is female energy or feminine energy, and this dragon here, I think, is quite feminine in her nature as well, because she just wants to exist. So we're moving out of masculine energy, which we both have both. We're moving out of the doing, the proving, the I'm going to accomplish, and we're moving into just learning to just be. There's a beautiful song that I love called Breathe. I can't remember the name. I'll try to remember the name of it and put it in the comments later, that I think everybody should listen to, because it's a beautiful song that just kind of inspires just being in a joyful, playful, breathing energy. Okay, so next up, let's see, we've got, oh, thank you. And that's, whoops, throwing it. We've got way too many cards coming up. Way too many. This is the Healing Spirits Oracle that we're hopping into now. And okay, we're taking all of those because they just keep wanting to come. We've got two. Aha! Nice. I'm getting lots of heart space energy, lots of green energy coming in, and lots of heart activations maybe happening and expansions. And here we have, look at this beautiful tree of life coming into a heart-centric space. You have the power to make yourself better. So in that being energy, in that feminine energy, in that resting and restoration energy, it may, to your mind, to your egoic sense of self, feel like you're not doing much, but that's what healing work is, in part. You're very busy on a cellular level while you are doing the self-care. And then our other card that came up in this is one spirit guide, one way. So we can see here, we've got a light of illumination coming in, and then we're moving ourselves into the light out of dark places, it looks like. So both of these cards, we've got light sources coming in. If you're still going through dark periods of time right now and still being challenged, which we are, many people are, but you find yourself in the darker places, and the cards here, numbers are 3 and 21, just for my peoples that love their numbers, is that light source is within you. That light source, that ability to connect to spirit, to source. You know, find yourself in a place of nature, go sit by a tree, go lie down in the grass, and just close your eyes and go within. If you're constantly seeking something outside of yourself, then you're going to find yourself in that grasping energy, and we're being told from the forefront is no more grasping. We have to let go of seeking externals, seeking external soothing, seeking external gratification, seeking external validation, seeking external sources for soothing, and practice it within. Practice going within. The more you go within, that's where you're going to connect to spirit, to source, to universe, to divine. And through the practices of meditation, through the practices of rest, through the practices of just being. And one thing that I loved about Align Walking when I was out Align Walking is every single day is in moving, in being in your body, reconnecting to your body. The physical body was the key element that was missing in my own spiritual quest. I've been on a spiritual quest for 30 years and I couldn't find my way to the light because I was not paying attention to the body. The body is the vehicle that's going to bring you into the light. The body is going to give you the information, and we need to learn to listen routinely to what the body is saying. So if your body is experiencing aches and pains, pay attention. If your body is experiencing exhaustion and requiring rest, pay attention. If your body is experiencing hunger or not hunger, pay attention. There's a million experts out there that are going to tell you one way or another of what you should or shouldn't do. But ultimately, you are the one source of information. You are your guru. You are your advocate. You are your guide. You are the one that's going to connect to the spiritual realm. That's why it's the you movement, because in connecting to source, you may go through a stretch, a period of time. And I was just talking about this with a friend, how, you know, through a large stretch during the dark night of the soul, I found myself almost fasting. And not being able to eat for periods, stretches of time when I was really being challenged, because as the energy is doing everything that it's doing inside your body, all that healing work that's happening, that's going on, you can't be doing two things at once. The body doesn't like to do two things at once. The body wants to rest, or it wants to digest, or it wants to run, or it wants to. So the more you listen to the body in any given moment, what do you want now? What do you need now? What do you need? And instead of doing what we've been taught to do, which is to ignore the body or to repress the body's messages or to like override those messages. What do you mean you have a headache? Okay, well, here, have some Tylenol. What do you mean you have an ache or a pain here? Here, have this. Give in to those impulses. You know, if you have a sore back and aching back, massage it. Do some yoga. Do some stretching in specific to that back. If you have other messages that are coming up that are saying, you know, I'm really not feeling like food right now, but because some expert has told you that you need to eat off of a pyramid or a section of a plate that's divided, and you need to eat this meal and you need to eat this, listen to your body. Your body will tell you what it needs. Your body will tell you, I need more protein if you're not getting enough protein. Your body that will say, you know, I need liver. If you're really depleted in iron. My body often craves liver, which is, you know, a very strange thing, but once in a month or something like that, I'll be like, okay, your body wants liver and spinach and onions, that's what it's getting. So listen very much so that you can connect to higher source by listening to the body. Listen, 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 listen to the body within. And the more you listen to yourself, the more you will be guided to let go of the things that no longer work for you, to listen to when your body, have you ever been in the environment where you walk into a room and it just feels icky and you're like, I want out of here. Your body is giving you, your sensory system saying, oh, something's off with these people. I don't like this restaurant. I want out of here. And no, I don't want to go there. Listen, listen, listen. It's like that video. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. You know that little kid? I don't know if you saw that video, but it was very cute. Hopping into the traditional tarot. See what the tarot's shooting out for us. This is nice. We've got the Four of Pentacles coming up. So say maybe some career choices, maybe holding on to resources a little bit as we're trying to stabilize into something that's a little bit more heart-centric in our career. I know that certainly plays out for me a good bit. Is, you know, it's a balancing act. Sometimes, because you feel the call, you feel the pull to be more in purpose, to be more in your soul's mission, but we still live in this 3D realm, and we're trying to create something new, and we're trying to at the same time be stable, pay our bills, do all the things that 3D realm inspires of us. And we can't at this point in time, although we are shifting into this whole new age of Aquarius. And, you know, my pay structure has completely changed than the way that I used to do things in my business that I used to have before. It's not donation-based only, but now I'm like, I'm going to try this on for size. I'm going to see if I can shift the situation and still maintain a sense of balance and still maintain a sense of ability to provide for my family's needs. Because you can see in this card here, all that 3D matrix is still very much present. It's not like we've just all ascended and can live, you know, money free in this day and age yet. It's a work in progress. Things are shifting, things are changing, and that can feel very destabilizing. So the more we ground ourselves through these shifts and changes, the easier it's going to be. Focusing on our feet, and I'm getting... get those bare feet out onto the ground. I know these sound like really simple practices, but they're very important practices, because the more we connect to the stability of Mother Earth and feel the abundance. And one thing I love just doing is just lying and looking at the abundance of grass. If you feel like the world is not an abundant place, get out in nature, and nature will show you what abundance looks like. Stare at a tree and see how many leaves are on that tree. You'll feel a sense of abundance and a sense of awe of like, wow, that's a lot of leaves. Or see how many single solitary grass is sticking up, and like, wow, and just watch the plethora of life that is around you. That's one thing that nature is very good to help, because when you live in a cityscape, and you can see here behind this person is a cityscape, everything is gray, and it's all uniform, and it may not feel like there's an abundance of anything except for perhaps people. So we want to pull away from that type of energy and cultivate a relationship and cultivate the energy of, yes, oh my God, there is a plethora of energy. There is so much life happening. There is so much flow as I watch this river. So getting in nature as you're going through a spiritual awakening is a hugely necessary part of this process to reprogram the mind away from the gray, boxed in structures and beliefs, so that we can listen to the sensory experiences of what it feels like to be surrounded by abundance. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in an energy of what is known as, sorry, brain just went completely still then. Poverty consciousness. Poverty consciousness is when we believe there isn't enough. And so if you're always in an energy of there isn't enough, or there's no flow, or it's not going to come to me, then getting out in nature is a way to like see that there is enough. Look at all the things that are surviving for free, all the insects, all the bugs, all the birds, all the everything, all the life that is in a constant state of flow that is happening all around you, and you can feel the energy, because it's in feeling the energy is how we shift and we let go of all those beliefs that aren't working for us anymore. We let go of the toxic thought patterns and the fear of, oh my God, I can't put this on a credit card because I'll never be able to pay the credit card. Money comes in, money goes out. It's an energy like any other energy, and you have always been able to provide for yourself, and it will find new ways to be able to provide for yourself, and there will be new flows of ways to provide for yourself. And if we're holding on for dear life, that's like saying, I don't trust that the world is able to provide life. So get out in nature and say, oh my God, look at all the life there's so much life that's happening. There is life that is being provided for energetically, that is here right now. So there's our message for that from the traditional tarot deck. I'm going to hop next and see what our chakras, what's going on in our chakra sets. Listen, as we go through this awakening, all of your chakras are going to be activated at different points in time, and at any given week you might be like, oh, now what's wrong with me? Oh, now what's wrong with me? And what's wrong with you is your healing. So isn't that a good thing to be going on? I love this card. I love this card. Card number 37, we have Seeing. Seeing. Perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. So so very third eye energy obviously coming in, and so many people might right now be waking up to some of their spiritual gifts coming online. And when your spiritual gifts come online, it can feel very overwhelming. When you start experiencing the clairaudience, and you may start hearing voices, or you might start hearing things, and it may not be like a voice like outside of yourself, you're hearing voices inside of yourself. It could be, you might describe that voice as the inner critic that's really heavily activated. You may hear that voice as spirit that's guiding you and saying, everything's going to be okay. One thing that I have noticed for certain is when it's spirit, it tends to be a lot shorter sentences and to the point. Whereas ego and inner critic is going to be a little bit noisier. And then there may be even more kind of insidious kind of voices that you're being tested and challenged. I know that a lot of people, and I don't like talking too much about the negative stuff, but a lot of people are facing some negative entities coming in, because as we go in and transmute ourselves into higher light, we have to go through some dark stuff and challenging stuff, and that may include seeing things that we don't want to see, going into the dark places and seeing the stuff that we would rather pretend is not there. So if you are being challenged with negative energies and negative entities and anything like that that's coming in, simply just avoiding it isn't going to work for you. Clear every single day. Get yourself some sage or some incense and clear your energies. Have salt baths. Say clearing prayers that you can say. There's lots available. I have my own that's available that I can provide for you. Clear. Send the attention. Use your hands and say, I'm clearing this energy. I'm clearing what is not working for me. I am grounding it. Send it into the ground. And it doesn't need to be a long, convoluted, it's your intention. is what's the most important. I am a powerful being in light, and I clear what is no longer in alignment with my highest and greatest good. I am clearing this energy. I am sending it back into the earth to be transmuted. I am sending it out into the light to be transmuted. Anything that is not in my highest and greatest good, I am clearing, 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 clearing. So as we see what is at play in our lives, and seeing can be any number of things, not just those things, but seeing truths, new ahas, seeing stuff that we don't necessarily want to see. As we're clearing up all of this toxicity around us and the toxic environments, we are opening ourselves to see things in a new way. And that can be destabilizing absolutely. Also coming online when you start experiencing some of your telepathy and picking up on other people's energies as well as other people's issues. You know, it's like your husband or your partner has a kidney stone, and all of a sudden you're the one like keeled over in pain going, I think I have a kidney stone. Okay, that happened to me. I went actually to the hospital 3-4 years ago, believing 100% that I had a kidney stone. All the tests came back completely negative, but I was absolutely convinced that's what was happening to me, and it was energetically I was picking up on somebody else's kidney stone. So I have learned now that to not overreact to certain physical sensations that may come in. Because as your gifts are coming in line, you are becoming highly in tuned to those around you and seeing things from a whole new spiritual perspective. And so the best thing to do when you're going through a lot of shifts and changes in your third eye awareness and your level of awareness, not only to yourself, but to everything around you and to spirit, it is to breathe through it and take your time. If you're struggling with any of your gifts coming online and you may feel like you're going into any kind of a spiritual crisis, please buy the book, The Stormy Search for Self by the Groffs. It will help you in so many ways, because when the energy is in your third eye and in your head, you can feel confusion, you can feel paranoia, you can feel any number of things like, I think I'm going insane, I think I'm losing my marbles. You are not. It too shall pass. And remember that mantra. This too shall pass. Write it down and put it on your wall so you can read it, and it shall pass. When the energy is clearing out the third eye, you could have headaches. It could be just beyond overwhelming. So if you are going through this and you need help with any sort of spiritual emergency or spiritual crisis, I have been through 4 and not pleasant. Feel free to get in touch with me to book a one-on-one Zoom call. As I said, all my services are by donation, and I can help assist you as you are challenged with stabilizing this new level of awareness and new level of perception, especially as well as even stuff in your 3D. If you're starting to look around and you're like, oh my God, I've been at this job for 20 years and it's been everything to me and I feel safe and stable and secure in it and I hate it. It's so toxic. It's the worst thing ever. And I'm seeing it. It's like the light goes on and you start to see things, the toxicity and the poisonous aspects that are playing out in your life. And you're like, I can't anymore. I just can't. I just can't. I have to let go of this. So you're going to see a lot of people, and it's already been happening for a good long while, where relationships are just disintegrating and jobs are just shifting and changing, and house situations are completely, all of a sudden people are up and moving halfway across the country, and physical health is challenging you to change and alter dramatically patterns and behaviors that you've had your whole life. When I got diagnosed with diabetes back in 2019, and my journey began by letting go of sugar. was the first thing that I let go of. And then after that, it was like every 28 days, something else, something else, something else, because they're all interconnected. One thing is connected to another. So as soon as you see one truth, it's all of a sudden they start multiplying like rabbits. And then more truths come in and more truths come in. So I'm hopping into next up, whoops, oh, the Twin Flame Oracle deck, and there we go. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Yes, so as we're letting go and we're clearing out all the stuff, we're seeing what's not working for us, we're going to be in a process of transmutation and moving ourselves up this tree to make ourselves and our life situation better. The number here is 9-9, and harmonizing, balancing, as above, so below. We talked about as within, so without. Everything needs to reflect itself. So the process of all this purging that we're going through is purposefully designed to help us get into an energy of letting ourselves be in our highest and greatest light. So we have another tree coming in, and I'll show you this. It's very similar to the tree of life that's coming up energetically. I'm liking this. It's like there's a number of portals that are beginning to open and bringing us into a state of absolute balance. So each chakra is in itself its own kind of portal, and we need to heal each one as we move up. And I've got lots of videos on the chakra system if you haven't watched them already, but to just give you a basic, we need to start by grounding ourselves. If you have child wounds from your earliest years, 1 through 7, you could have a root chakra that's out of balance, and it's like the game of Jenga. And if you have one chakra that's out of balance, all the ones above it are going to be a little bit wobbly with some overcompensation that we've used. So learning how to ground ourselves, ground the energy, is going to assist us in moving on up. And the energy is going to move us through each of the chakras. And each of them has their own spiritual life lessons. Each of them has their own physical manifestations. Each of them has their own elements associated with it. So go watch those videos if you're looking to do some extensive healing work through the chakra system. There is a playlist called the chakra system. Next up, jumping into the Island Time Wellness. Oh, look at that guy. Soulmates. Nice. So as we are more in our light and seeing what's not working for us and clearing the decks, what ends up happening is we draw in energetically, we draw in soulmates. And soulmates can be anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, a great love story, but in this particular one we've got, you know, 2 hearts coming up, which is lovely. Soul connection, partnership, agreement, and soul contracts. So this can also be your soul tribe, and all of a sudden you're meeting friends that you are better friends than you've had, and more supportive, and helping each other through your own awakening journey and coming together in this way. It can come in as romantic relationships that start to manifest, because as you're no longer in the toxic energy, you're going to be counterbalanced with new partnership. And that is a beautiful experience, as well as triggering, mind you. So give yourself a little bit of a break if you happen to be hopping into new relationships and you find old patterns coming up to the surface for that final expunsion. That's not even a word, but final release, because when we have new partnerships, divine partnerships, or partnerships that are supporting us, we no longer need all those safeties that we once had to keep us protected. And so they'll show up for us and they'll listen to us, and you'll be like, what's happening? You're listening to me. You care? What's going on? I'm allowed to emote and you're not going to get angry? I'm allowed to express myself and you're not going to get defensive? I'm allowed to move this chair and redecorate and you're going to help me? So be aware that when you start something new, and we've gotten all the way down and released all the other stuff, and we start something new, it also is going to be challenging for a period of time, because it's way outside of your comfort zone. And being outside of your comfort zone, you would think, oh, but this is going to be wonderful and easy now. No, being outside of your comfort zone means all of those tools that you once used to keep yourself safe, you can finally put down, and then you're like, what? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be. And so allow yourself time to be like, okay, I'm going to communicate my truth. I'm seeing things from a totally different perspective now. And I just want you to know I'm grateful, and bear with me. I'm recalibrating. One of my favorite phrases to say in relationship, to buy yourself a little bit of time, is just say, I need a little time to process this. And just, it buys you, like, it can buy you a minute, it can buy you a day, it can buy you a week. If you just communicate to somebody and say, hey, listen, this is so different from what I'm used to for the first 50 years that I lived, or 20 years, or whatever many years. I need some time to process this. That way the other person is aware that there's some major healing work happening, but at the same time, they can give you the space that you require so that you can process. So it takes, remember, we started from, it takes 28 days to set a new neural pathway. So when good things come in, and good people come in, and good comes in, it equally takes 28 days. So whether you're giving up something or getting something, allow yourself the time that you require to restabilize and shift into that new energy, because it's entirely and utterly different. I'm going to do one more card just to end things out of the bitch slaps from the universe deck, because, you know, I think we all need a bitch slap once in a while. And then I will take questions and read comments. So if anybody has any questions, now is the time to write them in there, and we can see what I can say in regards to those. Okay, are you ready? You matter. Every fucking part of you matters. Honor yourself in all the ways that you are showing up. So that comes back to that self-worth. In understanding that it's not what I do, it's just being. Just being means that you matter. Your emotions matter. Your feelings matter. Your body matters, your thoughts matter. Not all your thoughts, actually. Maybe you want some of those thoughts. You know, we are not our thoughts, and some of those thoughts can be highly critical, and don't give them too much heed. I say listen more to your body, and listen more to your heart, and listen more to soul. Mind can be a little bit fickle. So you matter. Every fucking part of you matters, and honor yourself in all the ways that you are showing up. So honor is a value that has been very important to me my entire life. And honor encapsulates a certain degree of respect, a certain degree of truth and honesty, a certain degree of loyalty, and a certain degree of respect. Those are the fundamentals, the foundations of honor. And if you're not honoring yourself, then you cannot expect anybody else to come in and honor you in that same energy. So being truthful with self, being respectful to self, having the integrity to self. And, you know, you might ask, well, how could I be not in integrity to self? Well, if you're self-sacrificing, that's not being in integrity to self. That's not being in your authenticity. And gone are the days when self-sacrifice used to be admirable. It's not admirable anymore because it's dishonorable. It's manipulative. when you show up and you sacrifice your needs for somebody else's because you think you might get something out of it. There's a difference between self-sacrifice and kindness. But if you're not being kind to yourself, then that all becomes a moot point and becomes performance art. And listen, I am as guilty of it as the next person. I was trained, and most empaths were, that my needs didn't matter, and the only way I would get my needs met was if I sacrificed my own needs for somebody else's needs. That was the indoctrination of most empaths. And so now, as we're healing and we're letting go and of those toxic environments and those toxic situations, we need to let go of the belief that my needs don't matter. My feelings don't matter. Your feelings and your needs and your wants and your desires and everything matters the most to you. And if you are not standing up in your integrity and saying, I'm sorry, I understand where you're coming from. I've heard what you have to say. I've heard what it is that you want, but that's not going to work for me anymore. The way you speak to me is not going to work for me anymore. The way that you disregard my feelings isn't going to work for me anymore. The way that you minimize my sense of needs isn't going to work for me anymore. I matter. And I'm going to start fighting for me because you're not, so I am. And when I do that, you can either step it up and match me in this energy or step it out and adios. So that's the only way it's going to shift. You will never get your needs met by sacrificing your needs. It doesn't work. We've all tried it and it doesn't work. All that it does is it builds up an imbalance in self, which creates disharmony in self. And our twin flame card was about harmonization, and harmony within self has to exist so that we can feel good again. You know, going through life feeling like, well, maybe if I just try a little bit harder, maybe if I just walk on these eggshells a little bit more, maybe if I twist myself into a pretzel, perhaps I'll get my needs met. Nope. Time is up for that. That is old paradigm, and we're shifting into new paradigms and new timelines. And in the new timelines, you set the stage. You are the one that is going to set how somebody is allowed to treat you or not treat you. So those four fundamentals of honor, again, are respect. Do a self-audit. Am I respecting myself? Am I being honest with myself? Because, you know, that's the hardest one, is oftentimes we'll try to convince ourselves and gaslight ourselves. You know, if you've been gaslit your whole life, you've got a little program that goes inside of your brain that like gaslights you and says, oh, well, maybe I should give them the benefit of the doubt, or maybe that's not what they meant, or maybe, you know, yeah, no. No gaslighting self anymore. We're going to see things as they truly are and stand in our own truth of go, that just doesn't sit right with me. Truth, respect, integrity. We're going to act and show up in integrity with what is in alignment with our authenticity, throat chakra, authenticity. And we're going to do this all in a sense of power. It takes power. It takes a sense of self-worth, that solar plex of energy, which is where we started from, so that we can be our own guru, be our own guide, be our own warrior. I am a warrior. That's what we need to be. Okay, so I'm going to hop over to questions. And comments in here and see what anybody else has to say. So bear with me. Gotta go back, sorry. go through periods where I can't eat much. Okay, so if you're going through periods, as I mentioned at the beginning about like through Dark Night of the Soul where you can't eat much, I highly recommend that you get yourself a full nutrition protein powder. I use Vega 1, but there's multiple ones on the market there, so that at least every single day you're getting the full spectrum of nutrients that you need. And so I would make up a blend of berries, a protein powder. I would add some chia in there just to give a little bit of weight in my system. Some greens powder. I would add extra greens powder into the mix, and some coconut oil or avocado for fat, because you need a little bit of fat to keep yourself going. So protein and fats are hugely important. So when you're really struggling to eat anything, at least having one nutritional smoothie at bare minimum is what kept me alive through many stretches of very severe Dark Night of the Soul where eating was near impossible. You need to keep your protein high. So a protein powder will help you with that. And yes, if you're craving liver, eat it. A lot of people, okay, I'm going to just do the meat thing for a second. I eat meat. A lot of people on a spiritual awakening path are going to tell you that you should give up meat. Again, you are your own guide, so listen to your body. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to the next person that thinks that they're the expert on health and nutrition. Your body knows what your body needs. And I needed meat throughout this awakening. Meat helps ground you, because when my spiritual gifts came out online, I was like, what is happening to me? What is going on? It was not good. It was not pretty at all. And there's jokey videos out there of spiritual awakenings where you're seeing people like, yeah, that was me. And I, without question, believe that protein was a necessary component in keeping me on this earth, because yes, there are great vegan diets out there, and if veganism is working for you, that's fantastic. And same with vegetarianism. But for me, on my journey, eating meat was 100% required. And in that, some liver and organ meats was also very much required to help give me the nutrition that I required to help sustain me through the hardest year of my entire life. So just make sure that you're coming from a place of what is my reasoning for eating what I'm eating. It's to me, it's not a moral or ethical or anything to do with those types of arguments, and I'm not really interested in getting into one of those really types of arguments. I understand some people have very strong ethical and moral beliefs in regards to eating meat, but the fact of the matter is I am a human on earth, and on earth, in this earth school right now, going through a very difficult spiritual awakening process. And I did my research and I did my analysis and I listened to my body, and my body said I need red meat, and so I ate what my body asked of it. So that's my opinion in regards to that, which will differ from many people in the spiritual community, and it's okay that I have differing opinions. To each their own. And if somebody is having great success, that's wonderful. I am trying to, at this stage, as I'm going through a new phase, to minimize and move into a lot more lentils and things like that. But if you're going through Dark Night of the Soul, or you're going through a very difficult spiritual awakening, do not let anybody make you feel guilty for eating the meat that your body requires, because it will help ground you. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Yes, that's a wonderful, and ultimately celebrating Mother Earth is the ultimate celebration here. Yes. Okay, yes, picking up on your husband's emotions is really uncomfortable. So working on developing a sense of this is mine and this is yours, and understanding that there is a divide. I've said in other videos before, and I'll say again, oftentimes we are given other people's stuff, and that's just the way that it is. I do not believe in send back to sender. That's it does not align with my beliefs in regards to spirit. If I am given gifts, and in those gifts, certain information comes to me, and certain, whether that be through telekinesis or telepathic information, or clairsentience. So clairsentience is when you have physical sensations and experiences wherein you may, as I mentioned with the kidney stone story, or there was somebody that had severe shingles, and I developed a rash. And I've worked with clients because as a Reiki master, I used to work with a lot of cancer patients, and I had one patient in particular that had cancer of the spine, all the way up her spine. And I had to schedule her the last of the day because I'm clairsentient, and I feel in my physical form what's going on in somebody else's body. So that is intuitive information that I'm giving so that I know where to work on their body because of the information that's being provided. And working on her was particularly challenging for me at the time. And I would come home every single day and have a spiritual bath to cleanse the energy. I would not sit there and go, I give you back your bad energy, you know. No, it was given to me because it's part of my spiritual gifts, and I can learn as a healer to transmute that information and to alchemize it. So if you're being given stuff, it's kind of your job. It's yours now. It's yours now. So learning all the tools and the techniques that are required to create, a little bit of space and boundaries, spiritual boundaries, but as well as clearing routines and establishing habits so that, like, okay, I can sense that you've got a lot going on right now, and my impulse is to want to step into the situation so that I can help you, and I can. That's not your job necessarily. That is not your job. If they've got their own karmic stuff that's happening, their own emotions, we have to trust that they can take care of it on their own. But it's very common energy, especially for females, to want to nurture that and take care of that, and we need to create healthy boundaries and say, okay, I am picking up that you are going through some stuff right now. And I'm going to give you the amount of space that you require to sort it out for yourself, because I have trust and I have faith that you can figure this out for yourself. Meanwhile, I'm going to go take care of whatever it was that I've just caught. So I'm going to go take care of me now, and I'm going to go have myself a spiritual bath, which is 1 cup of Epsom salts or sea salts, 1 cup of baking soda, because that helps detoxify. Maybe you want to add a little spoonful of bentonite clay in there as well to help pull out and detoxify yourself. And then any aromas that work. My go-to for aromas usually have been lavender, because it's very calming and soothing and relaxing. And light yourself a candle and go take care of you. Take care of the energy that you've picked up, and let them handle their own energy. So you've created a divide and a boundary, a healthy boundary, and you're not in there going, okay, well, I'm going to fix all this for you, because that's robbing them of the opportunity to heal themselves. You always have to give somebody else the opportunity to do their own healing work, because every single person has the power to make themselves better. A healer doesn't heal other people. A healer just creates the environment where the other people can choose through their own free will to heal or not to heal. And so you create the space, and oftentimes that's where a relationship can get enmeshed and become toxic, when you don't give that space and you don't give that little bit of, look, okay, you're going through some stuff right now. Is there anything I can do to help you? When they say no, then you say, okay, I respect that. I honor that. I am going to walk myself away from that so that I can cleanse what I've picked up, because it's feeling icky to me. It's like walking into an environment and icky jumps onto you, and then you're like, I want to fix this so that I don't feel icky. Well, that's codependent. When you're trying to fix something because of how it makes you feel, when it's not yours to fix. So ask, can I help? No? Okay. I'm going to respect. I'm going to go have a bath, and I'm going to de-icky myself. I hope that makes sense. Okay, next we go. I could draw in a soulmate, tired of being alone. Yes, I understand that energy. I understand that energy. I've been on my own for a while now, not as many years as you have, hun, but we have to have trust and faith that when everything is divinely orchestrated and divine time, things will manifest. At the beginning of this year, I made a pledge to myself to be in relationship to self. I don't know if you participated in that as well, but I felt like at the time the energy, because of what I was going through, but the energy for a lot of people required us to say, hey, wait a second here. And even if you are in a relationship or not in a relationship, it doesn't really matter. We still need to cultivate that relationship with self. And so I'm gonna go grab that off my wall, because I feel like we need a little reminder of some self-love. So bear with me. Running. There we go. Thank you. So in bringing in relationship, which, you know, I myself would love to bring in a nice partner. In the process, while we're waiting, we're going to recommit, and we're about a third of the way in through here, because we've done 4 months. So we're about a third of the way through, and let's just love on self a little bit and remind ourselves that I solemnly swear allegiance to myself. For the entirety of this year, I will show up, protect, and love me. I will work diligently and let go of the things that aren't in alignment with my highest and greatest good. I will show myself compassion and forgiveness for my choices, my actions, and the situations of the past. I will never speak to myself in unkind, judgmental, or negative ways, because I have self-worth. I will be patient. Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. I will be patient. I will love myself the way I have always deserved, but didn't receive. I will love my physical body and treat it like it's the most precious thing I have. I will give it the best foods, movement, and the care it needs. I will honor each emotion and allow it to flow through me with respect and care, understanding that I am healing with each tear shed. I will face each emotion like a warrior, for that is what I am. I am the hero in my story. I will save all of my wounded children from the darkness and comfort and reparent myself, thus healing my emotional body. I will fight each fear with ferocity as I step further and further out of my limiting beliefs and reprogram my mental body. I will step up into alignment with my soul, and in so doing, becoming my authentic self. I will show up in the world in truth, integrity, and boundaries. I will love the fuck out of myself. So that's a good reminder for all of us that are patiently waiting for the divine to say, okay, yes, divine partnership is coming on in. So first, harmonizing within self and drawing in those soulmates into us, because yes, hey, we deserve to have that too. So that's a good thing. Moving in. Oh, yes. Well, bringing in soulmates is, as I said, not just partnership. It can be friends. And yes, all of those are good things, energies to kind of cultivate. The more we cultivate the relationship to self and honoring self, the more we're going to be a light and a beacon for those that come from outside of ourselves. That's nice. 9 here. Yes, divine time, island time. It's got its own schedule. Well, see, you're making friends right here with each other. That's a good thing. Exchange contacts, and then you can like chat with each other. That's a good thing. Yes, I do hope you feel better, Cindy, and that any fever passes in time. Remember that anything that's clearing sometimes needs to be burned off. So we will have on the Ascension path any number of what I call wackadoodle symptoms that seem to come out of nowhere, and it will pass. I had a friend for a while there. She had a fever that seemed to go on and off for 3 weeks with no known cause. And understand that the fever is the body's natural way to burn off stuff inside of us that is not resonating in our highest and good anymore. So lots of Ascension symptoms. I did a video on the Ascension symptoms that you maybe want to check out. I'm sure it's in the Awakening playlist because they can be overwhelming, the symptoms that come in. Excellent. So that is our read today. If anybody has any questions, shoot them out to me right now. Otherwise, I'm going to send everyone off with love and light. If there are any particular issues that you would like me to address in any upcoming videos, please feel free to send me a message. You can reach me via direct messenger or through the Spiritual Warrior support group, which you can join. That's in the description below. You can set up your own private oracle read if you're interested in having a half-hour on-camera oracle read and see what the cards specifically say for you. And I send you off a list of all my decks, and you get to choose which decks you would like to have information pulled from. That is something that can be set up. If you're dealing with any particular difficult issues with any of these energies of letting things go, the coping mechanisms, trying to escape from toxic situations, trying to cultivate a greater sense of self-worth, trying to figure out where you are in the 5D versus the 3D world, and that can be overwhelming as you're going through self-audits, seeing the situation for what it clearly is. I recently did a self-audit as a kind of retrospective of where I've been for the last 4 years, and I know I was going to address that in my next video coming up. And what I had done was 4 columns, and the first column was my physical body, the second column was my mental and emotional body, the next column was the 3D world, and then the final column was my spiritual world. And from the time of my spiritual awakening beginning, at least my conscious awareness of it beginning back in 2019, to now, I kind of listed out and did an audit of all the shifts and all the changes that I have gone through, and it was overwhelming. So that might be a useful tool for some of you as well to use if you're in an energy of like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere and what's happening, is to do an audit, a retrospective audit of how far you've actually come. You know, choose a period of time and say, you know, well, my physical body was like this in 2019, and I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. My emotions, I've successfully done this, I did this, and address all the losses and all the shifts and all the changes. It's not just listing out positives. It can be listing out, you know, some negative experiences that you've overcome. And then how your 3D world has changed and shifted, and what you, so as we do a retrospective, it gives you a kind of reset place to go, okay, well, this is how far I've come. I'm going to reset, and now everything is all new as I move myself forward into newer energies now. So that was a neat tool. I'll talk more about that in my next video. So, love and prayers to you as well. Thank you everyone for joining me today on this Oracle read. Happy Mother's Day to each of you, and whether you're a mother or not, to all the mothering energy that you can have within you. Maybe it's a time to mother self a little bit more than usual, and take care of self, and, you know, make yourself some nice chicken noodle soup, Cindy. And that's what a nice mother would do. So mother yourself through this, and I'm sending all my love. Mwah. Lots of healing vibes for everyone, and peace out.